Hey boaters, Keith McGowan here. I am the Outboard Dad, here to help you have a better boating experience. Whoa, closing up the dumpster over there, cleaning out a place. Anyways, today we're going to talk a little bit about my used outboard motor buying guide. I was just talking to a gentleman who's looking to buy a boat. We gave him a copy just to have one, and he's going to have me come out and do an evaluation. Keep in mind, I do evaluations for boats if you're in the New Jersey area. $750 to come out and do a full evaluation of the boat, motor, basically following my guide, or you can pick up my guide for the do-it-yourselfers and do it yourself. Keep in mind, this is not a in-depth guide for every single boat and motor. It is a basic, gives you a list of tools to bring with you. This is a grab and go so that you can have some of the things and some pictures to know what to look for with corrosion and issues with power tilt and trim, compression, lower unit oil, how to check those things out to make sure you're not going to buy a dud that's going to cost you a whole lot more money to fix. So I am offering, you can buy this on Amazon now for $20. If you send me proof of purchase at keith@outboarddad.com, I will give you a free half-hour session over the phone. It's a $250 value to help you with a boat or a motor you're looking to purchase, or a motor that you're possibly working on that you're trying to get running. So that's for a limited time. I'm going to continue to offer that if you purchase my book. Today we're continuing on with the teardown of our 250 horsepower Yamaha motor. We let the oil drain down out of this tank all the way into our jar, so we got some fresh Yamaha oil, some Yamalube, which is my favorite for these motors. And now we're going to go ahead and just continue to take the fuel pumps off, take the oil tank off. I'm going to go ahead and just cover this up now. Let me show you what we're doing, right? It'd be good to see. So we kind of just let this drip out and got some nice oil. Now I'm also going to check to make sure there's no water in the bottom of this, right? So it looks good. Usually you would see a little water if it has that issue. So we're going to zip off the rest of these bolts for this oil tank. So some of you have seen some videos I've done with my buddy Brad. So he bought one of these motors, 250. Came up from Virginia because he's rebuilding, and I'm going to show you some more videos from him. He's rebuilding a Grady White. Really gutted the boat, doing a lot of fiberglass work. And I said, hey, you bought that motor, I believe it's the same year, and I have one of these motors, all these parts. I have all the fuel pumps, I have all the injectors, I have everything but the block that is up for sale. So he said, yes, I'm interested, I'll take it. So now we have somebody who's going to have some parts for his motor. He hasn't even got the motor on the boat yet, but now he's got a set of parts that he can go ahead and keep for his boat if he ever needs them for any issues he has down the road. Oil tank, we can take a look inside. There is like a screen here where that sensor goes in, so we can take a look inside here too. And it looks very clean. There's a little bit of sludge pockets in there. Not sure if you can, there you go, you see that? There's like some little sludge pockets in there. So you do want to clean these out if they haven't been cleaned out in a long time, whether it's the tank that's in your boat or on your motor. So really we just got some fuel pump and fuel filter here. Oh, we also have the oil pump assembly. Interesting, when we pull this apart, we're going to be able to check the gear on this. Typically there's a brass gear on our crankshaft that drives this pump. So we'll be able to check that. So Fuel pump looks in really good shape. I do have a little bit of corrosion on these bottom clamps here, but it still functions, it still moves, it still has pliability to it. So here's a good fuel pump or oil pump for somebody. We can spin it here, see if it pumps. Probably have to spin it faster than that. See if we get any. Up there it goes, right? So we can spin this by hand and see how it starts dumping oil out. So we know it's functioning by a little test. Doesn't tell what it's doing at high RPM, but it looks to be in good condition. Now we'll get the rest of the fuel pumps off. Get a new battery in here. So we've got a fuel system. There is a bleeder hose here, and we got our fuel system. There's a little bit of fuel left in that. I'm not going to go too crazy because someone's going to clean that out and change the filter anyway. We could probably dump it out into a jar, but I don't think it'll be worth going crazy on. Some of the gaskets stay on. Now look at that. That gasket was kind of broken there, wasn't it? Wonder if we were getting full fuel flow. Looks like this one's been replaced. Interesting. So there's bleed lines across this. We're going to go ahead and just remove the bleed lines from the manifold because we're going to disconnect this, and when we hook it back up after we take the crank and everything out, we're going to hook these back up in the position they were in. A little corrosion on this one, but not corroded through. This one just goes from top to bottom, so that can stay. Now we might be able to take this gear out. Let's see. Sometimes you can get this gear out of here. Sometimes you got to wait. Yeah, we'll have to wait till we get the crankcase split. So the only thing left on this, we'll spin it back around the way it was. The only thing that appears to be left on this is our shift linkage here. Probably 12 millimeter. Put that bolt and the sleeve here in the bag so it doesn't get lost. There is a sensor here. I didn't go too crazy trying to take this off yet. Sometimes you have to give it a little shock. Let's see if these will come out. There's one. And I will put these screws back in once we get them out. This way when we ship it, we don't take a chance of breaking this flywheel position sensor off. Well, let's see if we can get this last one off of here. There we go. That's what we like to see. So this is one of the things we can look at as well, can throw things off. You see how that's got, it's like a magnet over time, and it gets little bits of metal stuck on it. So always want to make sure those are clean. Now I'm going to put a little lube in these holes. I'm going to put these screws back in. I'll make sure whoever gets this block doesn't have to fight with them. I don't want them sticking up. I want to tighten them all the way down so they have less chance of breaking off in shipping and handling. Looks like there was a little thread, like a Loctite on there. Looks like the gaskets for the thermostats are in really good condition. Let's see if we can scrape these off. I like to save these from time to time if it's possible, because sometimes you get in a bind and you have a problem and you need another gasket. Look at that. We'll hold on to that. Now, of course, when I'm doing a job for a customer, or if I'm working on their motor and I'm getting new thermostats, I'm getting new gaskets too. I'm not going to use that. These are kind of what I keep if you're in a bind, someone has a problem and they want to get back on the water, then you can reuse some gaskets. All right. Now we'll get the rest of these bleed lines off. And then we'll split this case, get the pistons out, and then we'll really see what it looks like. Let me clean up a little bit here, and then we will flip this over.